Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and the 4th Gen Tacoma has been out here for a few years. And I gotta say, this has been one of the most discussed vehicles on the interwebs because some people talk about, oh, it's unreliable, oh, it's 4-cylinder only, oh, it doesn't match up to any of the Tacomas from the previous generations. However, it's also selling like hotcakes. And despite some of the earlier builds having some problems, Toyota seems to have really ironed out a lot. And that's one thing I like about Toyota, is they really stick to improving products and making sure they work well. So my buddy Anish here recently picked up this 2026 TRD off-road model from the dealership after his EcoBoost Mustang may or may not have had some head gasket complications, if you will, and he decided it was probably best to upgrade to something a little bit more robust and reliable. So he picked up this 2026 Tacoma. And it wasn't that you were necessarily looking to head out and get a Tacoma right away, but it was initially the lease deals that caught your attention, right?
Yep. It was the lease deals that kind of transitioned into the whole purchasing process, and it was kind of simple from that point.
Yeah, and the dealership actually ended up essentially giving you as much money as they were putting onto the lease into this purchase, correct?
Exactly. They honored the same deal for the purchase.
Cool. And because you and I talked about it, you hit me up and you said, hey, I'm thinking about leasing this Tacoma, and I pointed out the Tacoma is one of the best resale vehicles on the market. So really, if you're leasing one, you're essentially just paying Toyota to hold on to a lot of money.
Correct.
Whereas you now are actually financed, but / own this truck, and you can either own it for 15 years or you can own it for 5 years. And if and when you're ready to sell it, there's going to be a certain value to it.
Correct.
So, for those of you who are not in the know, the TRD Off-Road is essentially the full, and I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here, but I'm going to say about 90% of the abilities of a TRD Pro, just without necessarily the comfort of the shock package. But you still get a locking rear differential. You still get a fairly robust suspension package, and you still get the core abilities that are engineered into this truck. So today, we're gonna head up to the top of Santiago Peak here in Orange County. We're not necessarily going to put this through any super tough trials and tribulations, but we're gonna sort of show what somebody who purchases the TRD Off-Road might head out and do on a beautiful Saturday like this here in Southern California. Because talk to me a little bit about why you decided to go with a truck.
I decided to go with a truck because I kind of wanted the ability to go anywhere. As we know, we love camping and we love going away from the grid. And this is kind of the perfect package, perfect vehicle to get us wherever we want to.
Totally. Mm-hmm. And then you ended up going mid-size because you use this as a daily driver in LA County.
Correct. Yeah. So I don't have an issue with parking. I don't have an issue with just daily driving, so it's kind of the perfect vehicle.
Totally. Now, one of the beauties of owning a truck in general, but even more so the Tacoma, is there's so much customization you can do with it. So Anish is a partial business owner, and he needs to use this truck for taking product around and driving to customers, meeting customers and everything. So there were some improvements we wanted to do to the base canvas of this TRD Off-Road right away. Now this does have the premium package, so it's getting you things like the JBL audio system, got you the nice floor mats, gets you ventilated seats. What are some of the other things the premium package gets, if you remember off the top of your head?
I think you covered a good amount. JBL is one of them. You get the 14-inch touchscreen.
Right, the bigger screen.
Yeah, you get the extra cameras.
Oh yeah, the 360 cam and then the trail cams and everything with the bigger screen. Yep. Okay.
And you get heated ventilated seats.
Right.
So it's
heated steering wheel.
Heated steering wheel.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much all the creature comforts of a borderline luxury vehicle, but here in a truck. Now, are you okay sharing what you paid for it roughly out the door?
Sure. I paid around $52 with all dealer discounts and everything.
Nice.
And I mean, taxes and fees.
Well, sure, yeah, before that. But yeah, okay, so about 52. So just a hair over the median transaction price for vehicles here in the United States for 2025 for a very nicely outfitted truck. But some of the things that you needed right away, we addressed with our friends over at RealTruck. And the cool thing about RealTruck's website is you can actually put in your vehicle, if it's a mainstream truck like this Tacoma, and put it into its build configurator and choose accessories that they sell and see what your truck's gonna look like with those accessories on it. So I went to RealTruck and we picked out, what are some of the things you want in order to make this truck your own right off the bat. So first things first are these Ionic brand Nerf bars, they call it. So these were only about $350 or so, really competitive, but Anisha's truck didn't have running boards on it, and admittedly, it came down to your mother not being able to get into your truck, right?
Exactly, it's family, family needs to get in the truck, so
yeah.
We needed those.
But what's kind of cool about these, and I'm actually just seeing them for the first time here, is they're not really in the way of, like, if when we take this off-roading or anything.
Not at all.
They don't look like they're really gonna hit anything in the middle too badly. And being black, they kind of just blend into the truck. You got sort of the Stormtrooper look. Like,
Correct.
I wouldn't have realized that these are aftermarket if I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
What was the install process like?
The install process was very straightforward. It was basically 6 bolts that I had to undo, attach this frame, and then put another 6 bolts to from the bracket to the running boards themselves.
Did you have to do any drilling in here or anything?
No drilling.
Wow.
No drilling, no cutting, nothing.
That's pretty sweet. And I guess it's probably because Toyota does offer running boards. But so there's already kind of that ability there to get those in. But okay, so the Ionic...
Total install time was maybe an hour and a half.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice. Very cool, very cool. So did that all yourself. And it's not like you have a big shop or anything like that. I mean, you're just doing
hand
it out of
tools.
basic
Yeah.
hand tools. Yep. Now next, if we move our way to the back here, this was the big ticket item, and this was one that you and I talked about back and forth. You knew you wanted to have some sort of tonneau cover because, again, Anish takes sometimes big amounts, big high value dollar amounts of product to customers around the general Los Angeles area.
Right, and I don't want to just leave it exposed to the natural elements or just someone straight up picking it up off the bed.
Right, exactly. So the security element is why I recommended we go with a hard tonneau cover like this. So this looks like it's just one of your standard flimsy, like $150 sort of roll-up tonneau covers, but this is the back revolver X4TS from RealTruck. And the benefit here is this is actually hard aluminum. So someone, some nefarious individual in LA couldn't just come with a knife and stab through here. This is actually locked, and when his tailgate closes here,
you cannot open this.
Yeah, I mean, this is secured down in. Now, obviously, just like breaking into a car, like if anyone really, really wants to get in,
they can.
They
yeah,
could.
Of course.
But a lot of theft deterrent is just making it inconvenient.
Right.
Because so many thieves are just walking around going, okay, is this unlocked? Could I just reach in and grab something? Can I get into the door?
Right.
So the fact that this at least makes it so somebody couldn't stab it is very nice. And then all you have to simply do, you do both sides?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. There we go, okay. And then look at this, it still rolls up. And that's another reason why I said, let's go with this one, because at the end of the day, this is a short box Tacoma. It's not a huge box. I mean, let's be honest here. And you might be thinking about getting a dirt bike at some point, you might get mountain bikes, anything like that. I don't like as much those trifolds because then you trifold up to like right here, or if you fold it all the way up, then you're completely blocking your...
You block your thing, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
And then
camera, everything.
With the retractable ones, it takes bed space.
Huge amount of things.
Huge amount of bed space.
Yeah, we actually got one for our buddy John on his F-150. We got that slidey guy, and you're right, it goes all the way up to here. So when you're talking about a bed that's only got 5 feet to give, you want to take advantage of it. And if I'm not mistaken, these have quick releases to remove the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we had a similar tonneau cover on our Ford Maverick, and most of the time I just rolled it up like that. But again, Ford Maverick, very short bed. I put a full-size motorcycle in the back, and I just, boom, lifted that back thing off, and I was able to get that in there. So again, once we do dirt bikes, you could probably get the front wheel to kind of tuck right there, and then just kind of curve in.
Exactly.
And then fold. Does it have the kind of strap to hold?
Yep. These straps kind of go across, and you can basically drive with it open.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, pricier. This one I think looking about $1,200 or so. And we actually paid a little bit more even because this one comes with these T-rail slots. Because at some point when they come back into stock, you're going to get the bars that come up. And
right. So we're living in Southern California. We have surfboards, snowboards, anything that we can put on. Well, it'll go straight on top, and we don't need to worry about it taking bed space.
Yep, and you might even do a rooftop tent at some point. You can do those on the cross things.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are really, really nice. So we might be getting those at some point. Stay tuned. But the fact that these T-slot rails are here, it's so easy. I've done it before with these. You just zoom, ratchet them down, and you're good to go and really expand your bed. Then getting into the bed here, we see some of the other benefits of the TRD Off-Road Premium package. We've got, that's not it. Over here, we've got a full wall style outlet that goes all the way up to 2,400 watts. So you can power a decent bit of stuff back here. I mean, that's practically like having a generator. Very, very nice, again, for that sort of lifestyle stuff we want to be able to do, take it camping, you know, power stuff up.
Easily carry like a mini fridge or a microwave, anything that meets that bracket.
Right, absolutely. Very nice to have that. You also put this step on here, which I admittedly thought was just factory, and then I forgot that Toyota doesn't do that. It's more of a General Motors thing. Was that pretty easy to install too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Took maybe half an hour to install.
Nice. And then this right here is a bed rug. And it's admittedly not installed yet. We had some scheduling issues here coming in this week, but I'll kind of show you here what ours looked like in the Maverick. And I also put one in my F350. And what's really nice about the bed rug is Anish wants to be able to use this, again, for taking, you know, afternoon or something like that, or camping or something, putting stuff in here. And while you got this hard plastic liner here from Toyota from the factory, what the bed rug does is a few different benefits. One, you could put more kind of fragile things or boxes in here, whatever, and that just slides like a carpet. It's honestly feels like a nice outdoor carpet or so. It also provides about 1/4 inch of padding. So if you're climbing in there on your knees or something, getting stuff out of the back of the bed, it's more padded in there. And then it fills in this gap here too. So if you're sliding stuff in, or even if you're doing something like dirt, mulch, branches, anything, keeps them from getting down in here and get caught, or sand when we're out in the desert or whatever. And when it comes time to load up motorcycles or whatever, it's gonna easily bridge that gap, keep things from sliding around quite so much.
And the beautiful thing about this rug is that it has Velcro. So
yes, you
easily
can take it right out if you want.
When we don't need it, we can, you know, tuck it away and
pull it right out. I've never taken my bed rugs out of my truck once I have them in there, because you can even just power wash them in the truck. Take it to like a, you know, one of those car washes or something. But you're right, you can easily remove it. And in fact, in the Maverick, I'm just now remembering, we had what they call a bed mat from Bed Rug, and it was a kind of a grippier rubber material. And there are some benefits to that. If you're somebody who is putting a lot of stuff in your truck bed and you're worried about it moving around, you might want to go with more of the rubberized heavy-duty mat material. But things don't slide as easily, which is, again, pros and cons. You want to be able to kind of just slide stuff in and then pull it back out. And you bought this little net for things that you don't want moving.
Exactly, just groceries and everything. You don't want it sliding around the bed.
Yep, we had one of those nets as well in our Maverick, and just really expanded, because let's be honest, the back of the Tacoma is not the largest.
Not the largest, right.
So being able to expand kind of your stuff carrying abilities right here, very good. And the bed rug, fairly easy to install, even though we haven't gotten a chance to do it yet here, and decently affordable. I think this one about $200 bucks or so. Really adds to the livability of your truck bed to have that in there. And then we live out here in Southern California, and we like to go out to the desert, we like to go up to the mountains, and we know that every now and again you do something that pushes you kind of into a situation where you might need a little bit of extra traction. So these are the Rugged Ridge recovery boards from RealTruck. These ones very similar to some of the competitors, but promising to hold a good amount of weight. So we should be able to slide them right under. And I'm seeing it's got these nice notches right here, because I remember when we had to put one of these to work with my big truck once, one of the hardest things was just getting the tire to bite and to get up onto the board. So these should be able to bite the tire pretty well. And it came with a shovel as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, show that. So it's kind of just a nice little kit that you can pick up from RealTruck, sort of those like buy while you were there sort of things, because this can be sometimes even more helpful than the boards to just dig down underneath the wheel and get them in. So that is what we've got here from RealTruck on the Tacoma. And we're gonna be spending more time with the truck. We're gonna do a fuel economy test on here, compare the bed being open and closed. We're gonna be testing out these bars and everything. Hopefully not the recovery boards anytime soon. But today we've got our buddy Dax as well, whom you may have seen from some of our other adventure videos. And we're gonna head up the mountain. So let's get behind the wheel of the Taco, go for have a little fun time.
Let's do it.
So it's been a little while since I have been behind the wheel of a Tacoma. I just had the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro out in the desert, so very similar aspects here, similar powertrain and similar interior layout. And it is a toasty day too, so we're gonna have a little bit of AC going. Do you have seat memory in here?
No seat memory.
No seat memory, all right, well I'm gonna mess it all up for you. Oh, right. yeah, we are going to talk about some of the pros and cons of life so far here with the Tacoma. And admittedly, one of the cons is rear seat room. So Dax is what, 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, mess it up straight, we kind of don't fit.
But Anish doesn't use this truck too often for taking people in the back.
Right.
And so you were kind of okay with that. Do you have enough room, Dax?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. He also did a nice tint on here, keeping the interior cool. So if it's a little bit tough to see out of here with the camera, that is why. This thing is nicely tinted. And again, just getting behind the wheel of one of these, so smooth when you got the hybrid. Especially in this.
No turbo lag.
Oh yeah, because the electricity fills that gap.
Fills that gap.
You didn't necessarily set out to get a truck necessarily, but we had talked for a while. You were thinking maybe F-150 Raptor, you were thinking maybe Rivian, but R1T.
Right.
And ended up in a Tacoma. So tell me again some of your thought process as you went through that buying decision, some of the pros and cons and why you ended up pulling the trigger.
I mean, the big thing in terms of truck was usability, daily drivability, and just the overall size. So I was looking at full-size trucks, but mid-size kind of just made more of a sense for me, regarding just parking lots, living in Southern California, and just being able to kind of efficiently use the entire vehicle.
So now, coming from a Mustang for many, many years into a truck, what have been some of the either pros, cons, thoughts, observations, expected, not expected, from now driving a full-size truck?
Well, one of the things that I kind of wasn't aware of was the fuel economy. That big tires and lifted truck doesn't always equal the best fuel efficiency, but you kind of grow into that, and the comfort level is different. My total drivability is different too. I came from a very low car to a very high car.
Yeah.
So that took a little bit getting used to, but overall, it's been a very smooth transition.
Okay. Have you found kind of more comfort driving around like broken potholed roads in Los Angeles?
Oh, 100%.
Big tires.
Right. And one of the big factors is not for me, but for older folks, it is much easier to get into. It is much easier to take everywhere compared to a Mustang where you have to squeeze into something.
Right. And man, it's just, trucks have come so far in terms of comfort. I mean, we're sitting here 70 miles per hour.
And you can barely notice.
It's quiet, it's comfortable.
The shock package, the built-in shocks are phenomenal. Straight out the factory.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always liked about Toyota's more off-road oriented vehicles is they tune them to be very soft, squishy sort of compliant. It's very different from something like the Ford FX4s or something like the Nissan, the Pro 4X package. Very stiff, kind of higher performance, and Toyota just doesn't really do that. They kind of just they tune it to be kind of soft and squishy. And you see that even more in the TRD Pro, but for the price point and for kind of what you're getting in the TRD off-road, you still get kind of that squishiness. Now, I'm gonna do a dedicated video at some point on this, but it'll probably be a month or so after you guys are seeing this. But you have already done a little bit of a sound system upgrade as well, right? I have. So tell us about that.
So I wasn't, as someone who loves playing their music very loud, I wasn't necessarily happy with even the upgraded sound system that came with the truck. Yeah. So I found a amp online. It was very plug and play. You just need to remove the center console, and it honestly took me 20-25 minutes to install, and it completely changes the sound of the truck.
Wow. Yeah, we listened to it a little bit here earlier, a lot louder, a lot more of a full sound. I can't play you guys music right here because it'll get copy stricken, but like I said, I'll do a dedicated video at some point here, and we'll do a full sound test just like we do over at DM Sound with this one, and kind of see what those, and what is this, like $250 for that amp? Yep. Yeah.
$250 for the amp, and
money well spent.
Money well spent.
Cool. All right, we have made it up to some beautiful views. We aren't fully up to Santiago Peak yet, but as I was making my way up, I came back across this section, and we were gonna tiptoe a little bit into kind of putting the Tacoma TRD off-road to the test, but I've never gone up this, and I think we might be able to do it. So Anish has never put his truck all the way to the test yet, so we're gonna walk through a little bit here, and for those of you who might not be familiar with it. So we're 2 high right now. We're gonna first start by, we're in neutral, which you don't have to do neutral to get into 4 high. In fact, you will have to go back into drive to get it to engage, and now we see that it's engaged, but then you do need to go neutral for 4 low. Okay, now we're good. Now we're gonna go to drive. But before we start going up, we are going to click MTS. This is multi-terrain select. It gives us rock, whoops, said it again. Rock, mud, sand, and auto. I'm gonna go rock for this one. It's a little sandy, a little rocky, so somewhere in the between there. And now,
In 4 high, you also get deep snow.
yes, yep. So now we can set off. But this is pretty gnarly. So I am actually going to go straight into crawl control here. Now crawl control, especially on these 4th gen Tacomas, is pretty darn cool. It's much quieter than the previous ones, and it's essentially like cruise control for off-roading. I entirely take my foot off both the gas and the brake, and we've got this nice camera system here showing us where our tires are going. And you can change the speed between essentially about 0.5 mile per hour up to about 3 miles per hour. And what's gonna happen is right now, the truck is sending power right to where it's gonna need it. So it might sound like it's struggling at first.
But it even tells you what tires are being engaged.
Yep. And at any point, I can press the brake or the gas and modulate it a bit myself. I'm gonna go a little bit to the left of this rock here. And we have not locked the rear diff, so if we have any trouble, we'll do that, but pretty cool, isn't it?
Pretty cool.
And we are not aired down or anything. Again, there's some slip, but look at that.
Almost effortless with the crowd control.
Crazy work.
Yeah.
And there we go. Right now I could just press the gas. We could drive and leave DAX if we wanted to. And I could also press the brake, because crawl control also works as downhill assist, where if you're going down a really sketchy section or whatever, and it's kind of like, ugh, it modulates each brake individually, which obviously you can't do with the brake pedal. When you just press the brake pedal, you're doing all 4. But crawl control down a hill can individually lock up wheels to slowly and carefully bring you down.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna start this without crawl control. I don't think we'll necessarily need it. These type of climbs are really good for kind of just testing suspension and clearance and chassis flex. So again, I'm gonna use the camera so we can place our tires right where they need to go. And then right now, we probably have at least 1, if not 2 of our tires off the ground. Probably a rear left, so then it kind of flexes down the other way. Traction control kicks in, we just go nice and easy. There's a little bit of scrape on those running boards. And we could be doing this with traction control, but it's fun, or with crawl control, but it's fun to kind of try on our own as well. And that hybrid filling in just makes it so smooth and quiet and peaceful and torquey. Just effortless. This is why I typically tell people, unless you're planning on going and doing high-speed desert running, the TRD Pro is overkill. How often are you going to come out and need to do stuff like this? I mean, obviously the trail has been very easy. There's a RAV4 parked over there and a Sprinter van, but even being able to come off and do more intense stuff like this, if you were in kind of a tough situation, the TRD off-road can do it. It's just maybe not going to be quite as comfortable and high-speed capable as a TRD Pro. So, and again, these are just the street tires. Obviously, the TRD Pro getting more aggressive tires, but you can easily change that out on your own. Oh, and look at the suspension flex back there. Yep. Look at that undulation. Bilstein's doing a fantastic job there. Cool.
Like a dream.
Beautiful. So like I was saying, I mean, all of that, to be able to do all that, how often are people needing to do that? And to have this capability built into this truck at such a lower price point than the TRD Pro, pretty darn sweet. So some people might wonder why a business dude in LA gets a pickup truck. But this is why. Because you don't realize that around the 40 million people in LA County is this. So many people don't, first of all, they don't even acknowledge that these type of areas are out there, but then they don't take advantage of them. So when you're getting a new vehicle, if you splurge for something like the Tacoma, then you get to come out and be the only ones up here on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon, and you get snowy mountains, Pacific Ocean, hawks flying around you, and pure and peaceful silence. Beautiful way to spend an afternoon with your friends, with your significant other, with your kids. That's why people get Tacomas. So we're gonna roll open the back flip right here. Pop this down. Hop on up. It's decently strong, so you can sit on top of the roof. Put your feet down. All right, we're gonna try one last little crawl here before we wrap up the video. Back into 4 high, and then 4 low. MTS, rock. Let's give it a shot. This one's a little gnarly. I don't know. Now that I'm kind of seeing it from this angle, I don't want to fall down there. I also don't want to scrape your underside. I'll just kind of walk it up here a little bit. We'll see what happens. You know. We haven't had a reason to lock the diff yet, so you know. So we can feel. We definitely have a tire off the ground now. Taking it super nice and easy because I don't want to come down and scrape. Dude, wild work. This truck's ridiculous. I mean, didn't even have to change lines or anything. It's really cool. You know, we spend so much time reviewing new vehicles and everything, but it's really cool to review a truck actually being owned by somebody here and getting to see it kind of put into real world action. So, you know, is the Tacoma a perfect truck? No, I still have frustrations with it. Like, for example, anytime you get over 9 miles per hour, the camera shuts off, which is annoying. Why do the parking sensors still beep even though we're in 4 low and MTS rock? Because that's annoying. We're coming up, you know, like why wouldn't they turn that off while we're, you know?
The Raptor has a switch, huh?
Yeah,
right
right there. And yeah, in this you can, I think, somewhere there's the ability to do it, but it's something that you have to like keep redoing every time.
The main.
Yeah, exactly. You got to bury it into there. There was another annoyance I think I wanted to point out. Oh no, it was actually a plus. I wanted to point out, I talked about it earlier when we were off cam, I haven't driven a TRD off-road with the hybrid before, and it's much quieter when the motor kicks back on, when the engine kicks on, than the TRD Pro. Because the TRD Pro, you hear that loud, obnoxious 4-cylinder exhaust come on. I don't care for that, but I've barely ever heard the hybrid turn on and off in this, so I think that's really cool. So, I mean, when you consider that he walked out of a dealership before tax, title, and fees for $52,000 and got a truck with this sort of capability, and again, a decent bit of real world comfort as well. Now, would he have gotten slightly better fuel economy if he had the TRD Sport or an SR5 with the air dam on it? Actually, did yours come with an air dam?
It did come with an air dam.
Got rid of that right away, didn't you?
Right away.
Yeah, because that's what I would do if I were an owner. Because again, that would have been scraping all over today. But you get a truck like this, you spend, okay, median transaction price here for a new vehicle here in America. You have the ability to do all those things that you just saw us do, and then you customize it. You know, you get it how you want. You can see running boards in action. You can see tonneau cover in action, keeping all of his stuff. Look at all this dust on here, keeping all of that stuff covered. We've got the traction boards in here. The Tacoma is an awesome platform and canvas for fitting the truck to how your lifestyle is going to be best. So Anish, any regrets at this point?
No regrets.
Cool.
I had a tiny bit of buyer's remorse at the beginning, but
that's only because we realized you could have gotten a Ranger Raptor for about the same price.
Correct. But living with it for this time now, I think I made the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against it. And you're even doing things like you're using the removable speaker here on the JBL, and you're taking it out and you're chilling with it, and you're using the PowerPoints and stuff. I mean, you are using this truck as Toyota intended it to, and it's really cool to see that in action. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Tacoma, check the link below. We've got coverage of some of the 2024 models we drove. And like I said, after a little while here, I will get Anish's truck back. We'll do some fuel economy testing with the tonneau cover open and closed, kind of see what sort of improvements that makes at highway speeds. We'll sound test it with that upgraded amp, and we'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.